No notes. So this will be a good vid, right? What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, and take care of a couple things right off the bat. There was no SmackDown review. There's not going to be a SmackDown review this week because I was, fucking bugger tired when I was watching SmackDown yesterday, and there's not going to be fan interaction. It will go up sometime this weekend. It won't be tomorrow because I will be not here. I'm fiddling with my hands, and I'm going to kind of sort of look all over the place because I have no notes for this video, and I usually have at least something to look at some point in time, or I'm reaching for something. So no notes, no doomy clipboard of doom for those of you that have been here since the start. I want to talk to you guys about WrestleMania, and I want to talk to you about a match at WrestleMania. Obviously, it's road signs. That's what it's supposed to be here for. Because, looking at the landscape of WrestleMania, a lot of people are not excited about a lot of things. Which I get. Sting versus Triple H, I'm intrigued by. I get why people aren't. Taker versus Wyatt will be awesome creatively, but if you're not excited for the match itself, again, I won't agree with you, but I can see it. Roman Reigns versus Lesnar, I know people are crying because the wrong guy's in the match, right? People will claim that they don't give a shit about the Bellas. People will shit on the US title because Cena's in it, and that's pretty much it. But the one saving grace of this pay-per-view is gonna be that Intercontinental ladder match, is it not? And this is what I want to talk to you guys about. I just want to, kind of like I did with Roman Reigns a little while ago before Fastlane, I want to share my excitement with you guys, share why this fits for me, and just, I don't understand why more people are not excited about it. And I'm not, as I said in that video before Fastlane, I'm not coming up here to insult anybody. I'm not coming up here to tell people, you have to be excited about this, please agree with me, yada yada yada. More so to put my own excitement on the table, share a couple of my thoughts about it, and, maybe give you guys something else to think about. Or maybe you guys do agree with me, and if so, I mean, the ones that do agree with me have been putting it down in the box below for the past couple of weeks, and that's great. But I really don't understand this mentality. There's a lot of great people in this match, and everybody says, oh, this person, whoever it is, whether you want to talk about Ziggler, Ambrose, Cody Rhodes, Daniel Bryan, whoever, and like the rest of the guys in there as well, pick out any one of those names, and people are saying, well, why don't, why did they just throw them into this match? Why couldn't they give them something special at WrestleMania? Whereas so many people you want to see are in one match. It's a ladder match, it's a title match, and it's one of the focal points of WrestleMania. So maybe they did have something special planned for them. Maybe it was this. We've had matches several weeks now, Raw, SmackDown, etc., just constantly having the competitors that were going to be in this match fight each other. We had, Bryan versus Barrett, or Ziggler versus Harper, or Stardust, who just came up recently. Stardust versus Ambrose was a battle of crazy, and that was great. And I hear people say all the time, well, these are just haphazard matches. Well, this is, if you've been watching wrestling for a long time, this is how they build large person matches. If you think back to whenever they've built a Money in the Bank match, if there's 8 people in the match, somewhere in the build there's a 4-on-4 match. If it's a 6-person, then it's a 3-on-3 or whatever. If it's an odd number, one of them becomes the special referee and they screw somebody, and that just keeps the story going. It keeps the pot stirred, so to speak. So constantly having these guys going at each other. Now the hot potato stuff with the belt. Now I understand the people that find it goofy. Again, I don't agree, but I understand it. It's like, okay, this guy is the champion and everybody else is playing catch with the belt. What I don't understand, or what I don't agree with, I should say, is the people that are comparing this to the downsides of the hardcore title from back in the day. Because the hardcore title back in the day would literally change hands as many times as this belt has changed hands between the competitors in the past little while, and that gave people virtually useless title reigns on their record. Nobody that's grabbed the belt and stolen it from Barrett is the Intercontinental Champion. That's how they're sticking it to him. Hey man, you're the champion, but look what I've got. Be it Ambrose, be it Ziggler, be it Stardust taking out Daniel Bryan, which I thought was a great moment, not because I hate Daniel Bryan, but because Stardust needs something special, and we're going to get into that. But the match has been built, and props are a great thing in wrestling, and I don't want to seem like I'm being disrespectful, but a title belt is a prop. Now, I'm not saying the championship is a prop. Please don't get me wrong. Wade Barrett is the... Why are we beeping? Why is this a thing? Fantastic. The title belt is a prop. Wade Barrett is the Intercontinental Champion. He has that title. He is the Intercontinental Champion, Wade Barrett, whether he has the belt or not, which detaches the person from the title from the belt, and the belt becomes a prop. In how many title matches have we seen the belt become a weapon, for example? Or, you know, when you have a championship match coming up soon and you take out the champion, you stand over them with that prop, symbolizing that you're going to have that title eventually, but it doesn't make you that in the moment. So I have a hard time with people that are saying that this isn't something special, this is something just thrown together, because you could say that about anything. You could say that about the Andre Battle Royal. You could say that about championship scrambles, or Money in the Bank matches, or Battle Royals, or the Royal Rumble. If you want to take that logic, you could apply it to the Royal Rumble. Oh, here's 30 guys WWE had nothing to do with. Whereas, no, the Royal Rumble holds a very special spot in the wrestling year and a very special space in wrestling fans' hearts. The same thing will go for this ladder match. It's not a catch-all. There's no jobbers in this match. And I know the exception you guys are going to make in there, and I do understand it, but I'm going to address that. But this is a special thing. This is a bunch of people that the YWC loves. And this is, you know, I'm not going to sit up here and say that WWE listens to you guys all the time either. I'm not. Do I think they listen more than you give them credit for sometimes? Yes, I honestly do. And that's not me being a WWE apologist or whatever other label you want to put on me. That's just me saying it how I see it. Is there stuff out there that's still fucking horrible? Yes. If Santino Marella hadn't been injured, and, you know, God bless him and all that for being injured and retiring and whatever, he would be ruining Raw and SmackDown with stupid comedy. There's El Torito still. There's Adam Rose's Bunny and the Rosebuds and all that sort of thing. But somebody asked me a little while ago how I can look at Raw and, you know, ignore the bad and look at the good, because the good applies to the stuff that's important to me. The good applies to the guys I want to see, the guys I want to see get shots and runs and all that sort of thing. And the bad is bad, but it's bad in elements that are irrelevant to me. Yeah, El Torito's lame, but I don't think Los Matadors are going to be the tag team champions anytime soon. You know, Adam Rose has the Rosebuds, and that's a really shitty example because I actually like Adam Rose as a talent, but Adam Rose has the Rosebuds, and yeah, they are horrible. It's a horrible, horrible, corny gimmick. But first of all, he's a heel comedian. Second of all, I don't see Adam Rose being built up as a contender for Brock Lesnar. And this is where somebody will say that, you know, Roman Reigns is just as bad just for the effect, and I get that, and whatever, and I expect it, and that's fine. Put it down in the box below. I will delete it because it's ridiculous. But this match, this ladder match, there's no dead weight in this match. It's fantastic. It is so many elements coming together that are amazing. It is the Intercontinental Championship, which forever and ever, like, forget about the US title. Just forget it. Forget about the European title from back in the day. The quintessential mid-card championship in the WWE has always been the Intercontinental Championship. It's the workhorse title. It's the true pro wrestling title. It is the mat grappler, gladiator, really come in and put in the everyday blue-collar workhorse championship. Not to say that the WWF title hasn't been, WWE title hasn't been, but that title was for superstars. The Intercontinental Championship has been for wrestlers. Mr. Perfect, Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon, etc., etc., etc. I could go on and on and on and on. that is the true wrestling championship. It's the John Cena could be the world title, Daniel Bryan would be the Intercontinental champion. And that's not me saying that Cena's here and Bryan's here. I'm saying that this is the title made for people like Daniel Bryan, made for people like I'm surprised CM Punk never held the Intercontinental Championship, if I'm completely honest. I'm surprised Kurt Angle never held the Intercontinental Championship. That's another surprising one. But yeah, it is the workhorse title, and we've wanted to be back at a higher state forever. We remember back when it wasn't the title that it is now, the brief period of time where the Intercontinental Championship was kind of like that very plain Jane looking, it almost looked like a Tylenol tablet championship belt, until the new one came, or sorry, the new title that represents the old title was brought back, and we got, you know what, there's a little bit of tradition there. It's not quite exactly the same. Obviously it's a new plate. Obviously it's got the WWE logo on it now, but that's the old belt. Let's go back a little bit. Something I'm sure a lot of us would like to do with the women's and tag belts, and I don't blame you for that whatsoever. But this will be a great pedestal for the championship, along with that old cliche, you know, we're all tossing the belt around and it's all hot potato and it's all ridiculous. The title doesn't make people. You know, you can take it, you can use it as a weapon, you can steal it from somebody, you can hold it up properly when you've actually won it. The title doesn't make the champion. The title doesn't make the superstar. The superstars involved make the title. And if you look at these 7 names, and yes, I'm including R-Truth, and I will get there, I promise. But if you look at the names in this match, Wade Barrett, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper, R-Truth, Stardust, and Daniel Bryan, those are 7 guys that are going to make this title look and seem important. And that's amazing. That kind of turnaround and that kind of resurgence of the title, leave out the superstars for a second, that kind of resurgence in importance for that particular title that most of us hold so near and dear, that turnaround needs to happen at a big event like WrestleMania. It's fantastic. And it's all good. And it can only mean good things going forward. So that's one element. Another element is kind of a little bit easier, kind of a quick fix for the WWE, you could say. Or you could say that WWE actually does know its audience. Somebody asked me the other day what I'm always drinking when I do these videos with you guys, and I go on a particularly large tangent. It is big-ass giant cups like this. It's either this one, where all the labels have come off of it, or it's, you know, big-ass glasses from your typical 7-Eleven, and I make myself basically giant vats of homemade iced tea. And that's what I do, unless it's a really big rant video where I'm usually drinking Smirnoff. So whoever, names are escaping me right now, but whoever asked me that, that's what it is. It's a big, giant, basically a plastic vat of homemade iced tea for the win. It is a ladder match. And, you know, some people might say that's quick fix, but some people might say as well that WWE knows where their bread is buttered. They might make decisions that we don't like. Yes, we added stairs to the TLC pay-per-view. Yes, we created weird-ass cage. Remember the bamboo prison match? Remember the dog kennel match? Remember, oh, what are some other ones that we've done? Some weird-ass stipulations. We had Vicky and Stephanie McMahon mud wrestling. We had, you know, Divas pillow fights. We had bra and panties matches. We had tuxedo matches back in the day, too, which is not necessarily a thing. We've got Iron Man matches, and then we morphed the Iron Man match and made it hardcore for Randy Orton and John Cena. We had a good concept like the Elimination Chamber, which was, you know, the next logical progression after cage matches and after Hell in the Cell. And then we potentially ruined the Elimination Chamber at the ECW December to Dismember pay-per-view when we made it the Extreme Elimination Chamber and filled it with big giant jobbers like Mabel, rest in peace, and Big Show, and Test, rest in peace, and I don't even remember who else was in it. But the one tried and true, if you're not going to have a standard bout, a standard wrestling match, you know, 2 guys in a ring, follow all the rules and see who comes out on top. Typical Snow White babyface versus Snow White babyface athletic contest. Of all the stipulation, of all the alterations and all that, that has always rung true and has always been something that would grab your attention. Even if you didn't like the people involved, the match that would grab your attention is the ladder match. there's a lot of reasons for that. There's so many things you can do with it. There's so many spots you can do. There's so many different ways you can use the ladder as a weapon. You can strike people with it. You can trap people in it. One of the coolest things I saw in a while was one of the very first TNA matches, actually, that I saw was Jeff Jarrett versus Jeff Hardy, where they actually had the ladder sitting in a V, and Jeff Hardy sitting in the ladder, being pressed downward, almost like he was being stuffed into a funnel. That effect on his ribs and stuff. So you can do a bunch of incredible things with the ladder. Obviously, when you have a ladder match, it is hardcore, it is no rules, so you've got that no DQ element, but you're not, you know, just breaking shit like you are in say a tables match. You're not just swinging stuff for the sake of swinging stuff like you are in a chairs match. Chairs match just never should have been created, and therefore stairs match never should have been created. But that's the thing. Even in a cage match, where the cage match serves the dual purpose of being a hardcore environment and keeping outside elements out, really all you can do in a cage match, unless you've snuck yourself in some weapons, is throw somebody into the wall, and that gets old. And then you don't need to have 45-minute Triple H and Shawn Michaels steel cage matches. This does not need to be a thing. But the ladder match is probably the most flexible, probably one of the most exciting things. And it has become, over time, one of the things we hold dear. We hold the Undertaker's streak dear because it'll only happen once. You hold the Royal Rumble dear because it is an integral part of the wrestling year and it happens once a year, and if you follow proper logic, it tells you what's happening at WrestleMania, unless you're a Daniel Bryan fan, but we're not doing that tonight. Ladder matches, the unpredictability of ladder matches and the feel of ladder matches has always held near and dear, and that's why you see so many alterations of it. From the ladder matches back in the day where it was a one-sided ladder and you had to get up to a platform to get the belt, to the standard ladder match, to teams like Edge, Christian, and the Hardys inventing the triangle ladder matches and TLC matches, to Chris Jericho creating Money in the Bank, to even different iterations. Like, I'm going to go back to TNA for a second, and a lot of people don't like the concept, but the concept of the King of the Mountain match, where you're not chasing a belt, you're going up to hang it to show the world. They're all different iterations of a ladder match. Even TLC, which is really supposed to be a combination of a tables match, a ladders match, and a chairs match, the ultimate goal is still climbing up and getting the belt, unless you're in a six-man tag, and we're not going to go there. So ladder matches really permeate through the culture of wrestling, and that makes them special. Plus, you've got the symbolism. I mean, you know, when somebody starts out their rookie year, you know, we say it, and it's very cliche, and it is a metaphor. But you know, one day they're going to climb the ladder, and one day they're going to be, you know, a main eventer. They're going to climb the ladder. They're going to be a champion one day. And then you take that idea, you take that metaphor that is so, you know, there's no other word for it other than that metaphor is beautiful, and you put it in its most literal form, where that guy is literally climbing the ladder, literally climbing up step by step, rung by rung, escaping everybody that's trying to pull him down, and going for the big prize. That is something that can't be duplicated in wrestling. So it's elevating the championship. It's putting the championship in the spotlight of not only having all those great stars in it, but also that it's in a ladder match, because ladder matches are special. Ladder matches are at WrestleMania are special. Ladder title matches at WrestleMania are special. These 7 guys are following directly in the footsteps of the bad guy Razor Ramon and the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. And I know that's going to be sacrilege, because those guys are legends, and these guys are just products of the bullshit PG era of today. But try and tell me you don't see those elements in guys like Ambrose and Ziggler, and I was going to say Cesaro, but he's not in the match. But even I will say Daniel Bryan. The athleticism and the speed and the endurance and the risk-taking and the excitement and the importance of the ultimate prize is there, and it's just as much there now as if you go back and watch that ladder match at WrestleMania 10. It really is, and I can't say anything about that. And now you've got the title, you've got the goal, the title, you've got the field, a ladder match at WrestleMania. Now you need the gladiators that are stepping into that arena. And I say arena both literally and figuratively, obviously. Now, let's go through who's in this match and why it's not only exciting to have that talent there, but why it makes sense. Sorry. First of all, we got Wade Barrett. Now, Wade Barrett's kind of a no-brainer. He's the champion. You can't have a championship match without the champion. Wade Barrett is excellent at being really pissed off at all these mind games that he's playing. And I disagree a lot with people that are saying Wade Barrett is being made to look weak. He's losing it. He's losing control. He's losing his belt, da-da-da-da, whatever. You've got 6 other superstars, the caliber of his 6 challengers, fucking with you on a daily and weekly basis, and basically, you know, playing schoolyard keep away with your most prized possession. Of course you're going to lose it, and of course you're not always going to come out on the top end of the stick. Wade Barrett, who's been Intercontinental Champion before, who has been in the WWE, he led, and I'm going to do a little bit of history here, but he's led Nexus, he led the Core, he hung, not very long, agreeably, but he hung in the main event with guys like friggin' John Cena and Randy Orton and all the other guys in the Nexus, and we see this, we laugh at the Nexus now when we look back at it, but when you look back at it, you see the people that came out of Nexus. I mean, Ryback is where he is now. Daniel Bryan is where he is now. Some guys fell off, obviously. David Otunga, Michael Tarver. Justin Gabriel was exciting whenever he was on the TV, even though he's in ROH now. And he's doing... I saw the ROH pay-per-view. He's looking really good there. And yeah, it's ROH. It's his home. It's where people appreciate him, whatever. But he does carry name value over from the WWE. That's a thing. He's come back in so many iterations, and he's got so much potential, and it's yet to be realized. When he came in, and first he was kind of like the snob, kind of like an early Hunter Hearst Helmsley, kind of, I'm better than everybody, he's always got the rose in his lapel and all that sort of thing. And then he came back, and he was kind of like that street brawler kind of guy, and now he's kind of got this Bad News Barrett gimmick, where he's still very, very street in the ring. He's got the crooked nose that tells you he's had his nose busted a couple times. He looks like a guy that would come and punch you in the face in a pub. And he's got that following that guys get, where you know he's got potential, and we just sit there and say, why isn't this guy higher? And on the one hand, that's really, really frustrating, but on the other hand, it gets you behind him more. Just think, if Daniel Bryan had lost at Wrestlemania, for example, last year, look how much more the crowd would be behind him. I'll go to Daniel Bryan as the example once again. How much more was the crowd behind him when he lost in 18 seconds? When he first debuted, and people that knew him from ROH or knew him from XYZ company, where he was the American Dragon, and knew how good he was, and he was on a constant losing streak. Even when he had the briefcase, he was on a losing streak, and it was horrible. And then he won, he cashed in, and everybody did the glorious thing. Same thing with Wade Barrett. The exact same thing with Wade Barrett. He, like you said, or like people are saying, he's looked frazzled, for lack of a better term. He's lost control of the situation. As far as people that you're excited about seeing in this match, he's not at the top of the list, but that in itself will piss him off. You can imagine him as the heel being pissed off in a championship match when the guy that is the champion isn't the one you're excited to see. So he will carry that big, he's a big dude, and he's got big shoulders, and that shoulder is going to carry a huge chip at WrestleMania, and it's going to be fantastic. Now, big guy, brawler guy, you don't specifically predict him to be good in a ladder match per se. Typically you see a ladder match and you see luchadors, you see cruiserweights, you see high flyers like Daniel Bryan, CM Punk. I go back to my example from before, Shawn Michaels, guys like Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace, guys like RVD, etc. He's not exactly in the mold of somebody you would fit into a ladder match going into WrestleMania. So again, he goes into this match with something to prove, something to piss him off some more, something to make him even more... Sorry guys, the chair's doing a thing. Something to make him even more angry. You've got a pissed off big dude from Britain or wherever he's representing. I'm not exactly familiar with geography on the other side of the world, so sue me. But here he is. He's come to America. He's living the American dream, as much as the guys from across the pond will hate me saying that. and he's done all the right stuff. He's dominated, he's become the champion, and now he's not getting any of the respect for it or any of the recognition for it because these 6 or 7 other ragtag bunch of misfits are fucking with him and taking his belt. Fuck them, right? So on one hand, if you're not a Wade Barrett fan, you're like, well, he's kind of looking weak right now. But on the other hand, you gotta know that these guys are fucking with him, and it's going to be fantastic. And if he manages to pull this off and win, he will start getting the recognition he deserves. And I know WWE is a worldwide company, and where we come from doesn't always matter, but the guys over on the other side, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Britain, the UK in general, basically anywhere that's not North America, that make the claims that a lot of people from their neck of the woods don't get main spots. There is some truth to that. As much as I've knocked them for it in the past, because I think they over-exaggerate like motherfuckers, there is some truth to that. So somebody like Wade Barrett, somebody is from Manchester, I believe. Manchester, England, I believe. Somebody correct me down in the box below if I'm wrong. But if you're in Manchester and you've never had a hometown boy to cheer for at Wrestlemania before, that is an element. That is a big element. So there's a lot of reasons for that make Wade Barrett an awesome addition to this thing. And like I say, first and foremost, he's sort of the disrespected champion going into the championship match. So you got, as I say, and I'm getting repetitive because I don't have notes, he's going to walk in with that gigantic chip on his shoulder, and that will be fantastic. Even if he loses, if he makes a good showing in this match, in a match that, like I say, you don't even predict he would be necessarily a fit for, it'd be good. You picture him as sort of, what's a nice cheesy metaphor? You picture him like King Kong climbing the towers in New York and swatting away at the little tiny airplanes. Maybe that's how Wade Barrett feels in this match. Here's all these guys that can jump and flip and do all these amazing show-off things, and he's just a bruiser, a brawler, a bigger guy that's going to climb the ladder as if it's the Empire State Building and go for his prize, go for his lady, and his lady in this case being the Intercontinental Championship. I think that's a fantastic story going forward. Ambrose, the lunatic fringe, the guy that got the ball rolling, so to speak. Ambrose's story is nice and simple. I mean, like, first of all, people love Ambrose. People love Ambrose, and they love him going up against somebody like Barrett, because somebody like Barrett, who's so prim and proper and looking for so much respect, and Ambrose is just like, well, fuck that, right? But he sort of got the ball rolling because he wanted his Intercontinental Championship match. He beat Wade Barrett in a non-title match, which entitled him to a title shot. And he knows this. And he came to Barrett and he said, I beat you, and you owe me a title shot, and I'm going to keep bugging you until you do it. And then he got zip-tied to the ring, and people started making the 50 Shades of Barrett jokes, and that's very, very unfortunate. But Dean Ambrose is the off-the-wall, crazy guy who's built for a match like this. This guy, you know, they overused the cliche human car crash or human demolition derby for TLC, but Ambrose brings that element to this match. Ambrose, in his role in the Shield, when we thought that he was the leader, when really that was kind of up for grabs, and really at this point I think most people would say Seth Rollins, Ambrose was the only one that had singles success within the Shield. Rollins and Reigns were tag team champions, and good for them. They were fantastic. They dominated everybody because they had a man advantage, etc. The only one to win singles gold in the Shield was Dean Ambrose, and he had a long ass reign as United States champion. Now you could point out little nitpicks and say that he had a long-ass reign because he didn't defend it very often, but he had more things on his mind. I've established myself as a singles guy, now I'm going to play my part in establishing this team, which is great, and at the end of the day, you still see that he had a long-ass United States Championship run, so he has history. Among these three guys that we all knew were going to be main eventers one day, he was the one that got singles success, singles gold, singles recognition. So him going after another bit of singles gold, and he said it point blank. I walked up and down the hallways and wallways of the WWE headquarters building, and I saw all the pictures of all the former champions, and guess what? My fucking face deserves to be on that wall. I can beat you. I'm better than you, and you. Why the hell isn't my name up there? Oh, because I haven't held that. Okay, now I want that. Oh, you're not gonna give me that? I'm gonna fucking tie you up and beat the shit out of you and make you give me a title shot. That's awesome. That's some Mick Foley shit right there. It's just good. And Ambrose, more than anybody else in this match, deserves, okay, if you follow the story. I mean, obviously the bookers wrote the story, da-da-da-da, I get it. I'm not one of those guys sitting up in the bleachers saying, it's still real to me, damn it. But if you follow kayfabe, if you follow the story, which is what I'm enjoying right now, Ambrose got the ball rolling, and Ambrose is the reason we're having this match, if you follow the story. Ziggler is one of the ones in this match that saw what Ambrose has done and said, you know what? He's right. He has beaten Barrett. He does deserve a title shot. Guess what? I've beaten Barrett. And I deserve a title shot. And fucking yeah, I'm gonna start stealing his belt too, until I get my title shot. And you got Dolph Ziggler with the added arrogance. He is the pretty boy guy, the Shawn Michaels or Badass Billy Gunn-esque character that's going to come out not crazy like Dean Ambrose, but cocky as fucking with every bit of ability to back it up. We've seen what Dolph Ziggler can do as Intercontinental Champion. We've seen the matches that Dolph Ziggler has had to become Intercontinental Champion. Some of them have been cage matches. Some of them have been ladder matches. Some of them have been against Morrison and Sheamus and Miz and Daniel Bryan and who else? He's defended other titles against John Cena and won in ladder matches. He won Money in the Bank, which is a ladder match. He defended it against John Cena in a ladder match. He won his Intercontinental Championship back from Luke Harper in a ladder match. He is the crash test dummy of the WWE. You need somebody to bump around like a fiend and show how dangerous a cage match is. A tables match is. A Hell in the Cell is. Elimination Chamber. Dolph Ziggler was stock one in putting together Elimination Chamber matches for a long ass time, because he took the sickest bumps and he took the steel like it was his fucking girlfriend. It's a thing. We've seen how well he can do as Intercontinental Champion. We've seen how well he can do making everybody look good. And I mean, everybody in this match is already good, but like I say, you take somebody like Wade Barrett, who might not necessarily belong in a match like this, you negate that with somebody in there like Dolph Ziggler, who will make anybody look good in any situation. He is the roadkill machine. He is the guy who goes out there and makes everybody look good. And because of that, because we all appreciate that, we're behind Dolph Ziggler. Because he spent so much time making somebody else look good, you, me, and everybody else know that Dolph Ziggler deserves his time to shine. We really do. And anybody else, Nick Nemeth is a great guy. He's a great character. He's a great overall. I know he's doing comedy in his spare time. I know he's doing drama in his spare time. His character is flawless. Anybody else trying to pull off the Dolph Ziggler character would come off like a jackass. Dolph Ziggler is, in fact, a jackass. He's the only one. If you watch SmackDown, I watched it on Wednesday because I'm in Canada. Yay, Canada. I know you guys are watching it tonight. Anybody that can end off a show calling Daniel Bryan a turd and still be getting cheered in 2015 must be doing something right. Dolph Ziggler, a lot of the stuff that he does is complete asshole nation. But because he's good at it, and because it sucks us in, he gets the CM Punk treatment. He gets the Shawn Michaels treatment. You will go there and you will go into that ring and you will destroy yourself for my entertainment. So you know what? You go out there and be an asshole, and I will appreciate how good you are at being an asshole, because I know you're then going to come back and show and back it up with how good you are in the ring and how selfless you are in the ring. Because you know what? The next person you might face might be somebody else that I like, that needs help looking good. You know, me for an example, I'm a fan of The Miz. I know The Miz is far from perfect. I know Miz has a lot of flaws. If I hear that Miz has got a match tonight against Dolph Ziggler, I know, A, I'm going to see Dolph Ziggler, who's fucking fantastic, but Dolph Ziggler is also going to make my boy look good. That's two layers. That's two different elements that you bring. You bring yourself and you bring what you can do for your opponent. And as I say, sorry, losing my voice. WrestleMania, lights on bright, Intercontinental Championship ladder match. With the talent in this ring, you almost don't need somebody that can do what Dolph Ziggler can do. So to have it anyways is fucking spectacular. Luke Harper. Now this is a weird one. This is a weird one because I would not put Luke Harper up on these levels yet. but I know there are people that followed him in FCW, and I think he was in ROH or something like that. Why? There we go. And have told me that we've only seen the tip of the iceberg of what Luke Harper can do. His former name in other companies was Brody Lee or Brandon Lee or something to that effect. Again, rambling, no notes, correct me down in the box below. What I have seen of him so far is somebody that I am very intrigued to see in a ladder match again. I saw what he can do, obviously with help from Dolph Ziggler in his Intercontinental ladder match before at their match at TLC. And he's a guy who I'm not going to refer to in the same way as Wade Barrett. He's a guy I'm going to refer to as somebody the size of Wade Barrett that moves like a much smaller guy. The suicide dives and all that sort of shit that he does is fucking fantastic. So you've got, as I say, a ladder match is very much designed for high flyers, designed for luchadors, light heavyweights, cruiserweights. You've got a gigantic X Division guy in Luke Harper. You've almost got that Samoa Joe element of somebody that size shouldn't be able to move like that, and he's crazy. He's crazy. So the ability that he has to naturally pull stuff off really great, and the believable crazy factor that he's inherited directly from Bray Wyatt makes you wonder how far this guy will go. Makes you wonder if we're gonna get a Mankind Undertaker off of Hell in the Cell type moment from Luke Harper. And again, he's proven what he can do in ladder matches. He's proven that he can win the Intercontinental Championship. But, and here's the big but, and here's where I love Luke Harper being added to this match. Two things. You need something ridiculously special to finish off the separation from the Wyatt family. There's still a lot of Wyatt family-esque elements to him, because his character is crazy, and his character is developing, and his character has had promo time and has aligned himself with the Authority more than anybody else, which doesn't really help anybody. But you need to shed the last remnants of that Wyatt family persona and really stand out on your own. This match affords him the opportunity to do that in fantastic, fantastic ways. Because I don't see Eric Rowan, and I don't even see Bray Wyatt, with all due respect to him and what he can do, never going to take anything away from the guy. I don't see Bray Wyatt doing the things in a ladder match that I see Luke Harper doing. It's just a different style. We will get different great things from Bray Wyatt, and what he does with The Undertaker at WrestleMania will be absolutely phenomenal, no pun intended. But not only that, we know that Luke Harper has already had a taste of the Intercontinental Championship. And championships are like addictions. When CM Punk made his debut in the company, he said, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. My addiction is competition. Extend that, competition gets you titles. So titles can also be considered an addiction. And Luke Harper didn't nearly get his fix, I don't think, holding on to that title for not even a month. Now, he wants that title back. He's had that little taste. He doesn't know what the long title run is for, or what it feels like. He wants that, but also, in every bit of build going into TLC in his match against Dolph Ziggler, what did we hear over and over and over again? Oh, he didn't win it. The Authority handed it to him. So not only does he want that title back, he wants a proving ground to get it back on his own. And all of those are great stories, especially from such a new emerging talent. And as I say, you don't, and it's probably unfair, you don't expect the things that we're going to get from Luke Harper at WrestleMania out of a guy his size. You expect him to be a brawler. You expect him to be a crazy, I'm gonna reach my hand into your fucking mouth and tear your jaw off kind of guy. But if he can pull off the suicide dives like he does, and the drop kicks like he does that almost rival Ziggler's, but not quite. You know, you got Ziggler and you've got Stardust. Right off the top of my head, I have the two best drop kicks in the business right now. If Roman Reigns and John Cena could just stop trying, that would be great. But a near third has to be Luke Harper. And a guy that size. Again, he's going to do some great things off the ladder. He is going to give us a spot of the night. I'm making that prediction right now. But his story is just beginning, and this will be a phenomenal launching point. And WrestleMania does that. Look at what we've done over the past couple of years with guys like Fandango and guys like Big E having their very first match at WrestleMania. lights on bright, all those types of cliches, he's going to do great. Now, R-Truth, I know, this is where a lot of people fall down, and this is where I can't defend it as much, but R-Truth, whatever you want to say about his gimmick, whatever you want to say about him being heel, face, crazy, silly, bad on commentary, whatever, Ron Killings in the ring is a fantastic athlete. He does bring that insane quality that I've talked about before. If he's going into this as heel R-Truth, which he has been sort of touching on in the past few weeks and whatnot, we could have similar elements on a much smaller scale, obviously, that we're going to get from guys like Ambrose and guys like Harper. We need crazy people. You need to be, this is the thing, you need to be crazy to be in a match like this. No sane person is going to let 6 other people chase them up a rickety ladder with the hopes of maybe grabbing a belt. You need to be crazy. It contributes to the match. And the guy, let's be honest, he doesn't have much of a character. And what character he does have, you can rip apart if you really want to. Or you can decide that it is what it is and he's there for fun. He's there to provide a little bit of comic relief. And he's there to do what his job is and what his job has been forever. R-Truth, along with Kofi Kingston, have been filler. They're the first one eliminated. They're the first one out of the Battle Royal. They're the first one eliminated in the Elimination Chamber. They're an extra body in the thing. And he will fill out that role. Do I believe that R-Truth is going to walk out Intercontinental Champion? Absolutely not. Do I necessarily even want him to? No, but I think he will fill his role. He will go in there, not to the same extent as Dolph Ziggler, but he will go in there and be a crash test dummy for all the other people in the match that need to look great. He will be the one that takes the big boot from Harper. He will be the one that eats the knee from Daniel Bryan. He will be the one that will take a wicked zigzag from Dolph Ziggler. He will be the one that takes dirty deeds. He will be the one to sell the shit out of the bullhammer, etc. He will be the beat up piece of meat that Mickey Rourke talks about in the movie The Wrestler in this match. And that's why you need him. You need somebody in there when you've got 6 people pulling off amazing shit. There needs to be somebody that's just in there taking it. And that is R-Truth. R-Truth is the quintessential filler guy in this match in the absolute best way possible. And I hope that makes sense. I hope it doesn't just sound like I'm trying to shine a turd, because I'm really not. But it is what it is. And plus, like, what has he done recently? He's still on the roster. He's still making a paycheck. Put him in an awesome match like this. The worst thing he can do is go into this match, fail, and go back to being unheard of again. Like... And he's not going to win. As much as I don't want to brush that off, as much as I don't want R-Truth to achieve, you know, some sort of success, because he's not bad in the ring. And he is entertaining, and he's charismatic, and he does get the crowd up and going and whatever. He serves all those purposes. So even if they did, I'm not saying that they are going to, I don't think they will, but even if they did give him his WrestleMania moment, there's worse things that could happen. They could give it to Hornswoggle. They could have thrown John Cena into this match, and then everybody would have been fucked, right? So there's that. Stardust, and this is another interesting one. This is another really interesting one on a lot of levels, because Stardust sort of has a long and interesting story going on right now. Cody Rhodes, we know for a fact, can take on any role. He came in as part of Priceless. He was part of Legacy. And then he left Legacy. He was Dashing Cody Rhodes, where he was the pretty boy and he was doing all the things and da-da-da-da. And that gimmick was horrible, but he made it great. He had his face broken. Here's the pretty boy that lost his pretty face. And he went around with a clear mask on that showed that there was nothing wrong with his face, and yet he went fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Again, should have been lame. He made it great. Even the Master of Mustachioed Magnificence, you know, with the Ron Burgundy bit there, should have been horrible, but he made it great. He turned that into Rhodes Scholars, which was a fantastic team. Second only to what Sandow is currently doing with The Miz, probably one of the best things Sandow's ever done. And now he went on with his brother. They had a nice family story. He lost his job because Triple H is a fucking cock. His family rallied around him to get him his job back. This allowed the resurgence of his older brother. You know, his dad's there working in NXT anyway. That brought the family together. Nice family moment. Let's be a family. Let's be a tag team. Let's get our jobs back and let's get some belts. Fantastic. Wonderful. They have a nice little title run. And then he doubts himself. They start losing. He starts blaming himself. Goldust tries to console him. Can't. Cody goes nuts. the birth of Stardust, who is a character that Goldust. Now let's think about this. Goldust, who was Marilyn Dust, who was the artist formerly known as Goldust, who at one point Vince McMahon was willing to pay money to get fake tits for shock value. Goldust looks at Stardust and feels uneasy. And I hate to say this because I do have respect for what Goldust has done in the wrestling business. Cody Rhodes is better at making people uncomfortable than Goldust is. Goldust was able to make people uncomfortable in the Attitude Era, where Shock TV and Shock and Awe with literally no handcuffs on whatsoever. Cody Rhodes is able to do it and do it better within the constructs of PG. That's impressive. So they go on, and they have a tag team title run. Now they disband. Now he hates his brother. Now they've already taken one go at each other. Now he's disowned his father. And everybody wants to see this match happen again at WrestleMania. And I understand that. I do. I really do. I wouldn't have minded seeing Goldust and Stardust at WrestleMania. It belongs at WrestleMania. We've been saying it for the past 2 years. The reason I am okay with this, WrestleMania, and I'm going to try and explain this in a way that doesn't, sound totally retarded, because I've been thinking about this one. This is the one that I've been trying to think about how to explain to you guys. WrestleMania, in all its intents and purposes, is the end of the wrestling year. The Raw after WrestleMania starts the new wrestling year. So stories come to a head at WrestleMania, or at least that's the idea. But you can't have all the stories in WWE don't start and stop at the same time. You got a story that starts in January and it goes on through February and a little bit and goes on through March. And then there's a story that started in February and goes past March into April. And things overlap. And until you get to WrestleMania and WWE feels like they need to end all their stories on the same night, you need to have something going forward that continues. That continues past WrestleMania. Because WrestleMania, as much as it is the grandiose, it is the granddaddy of them all, it is the biggest stage in this industry, it is the largest pulpit of sports entertainment. It is what it is. But if you look at it from another direction, it's just one more show. And there's another one the next day. And we get up the next day and we go to Raw. And we get up the next month and we go to Extreme Rules. And we roll on. There has to be something that carries forward. If every single thing in the wrestling world has to start from scratch on Raw, that's a lot to ask of the WWE. And I'm not saying pity the WWE. Why are we dinging? Why is this a thing? I'm not saying pity the WWE. I'm not saying, oh my god, guys, these guys are trying really hard, cut them some slack. I'm not saying that. But I am being realistic. It is not realistic to take a roster the size of WWE's and say, give every single one of them something new starting the Monday after WrestleMania. We know what can continue a story all the way through? Goldust and Stardust have one match. The very first thing, especially after that match, with the attack of Goldust, with the severe disrespect of their father, I'm sure Goldust wants nothing more than to get his hands on Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. But Cody has said, I don't need you. Cody has said, I'm better than you. I'm not living in either of your shadows. You're living in mine. I'm stepping away and I'm taking my shadow with me. I'm going to go succeed over here now because I don't need you guys anymore. And the fact that Cody, or Stardust rather, is able to put down his brother, is able to put down his father and walk away and not get reprisal and go maybe succeed at WrestleMania. For Goldust to watch Stardust go to WrestleMania and possibly win the Intercontinental Championship, will that not fester more and more resentment and hatred and anger and urge for vengeance than Goldust already has for his brother already going into Extreme Rules? Because what did Goldust say to his dad? He says, I'm going to go into a match tonight and I'm going to beat the living hell out of Cody until he never wants to put that face paint on again. And his dad said, don't. Go in the ring, beat him. Teach him a lesson. You don't need to hurt your brother. But he said, I want to beat him so bad that he never considers putting on the paint again. Now, does that sound like a regular wrestling match at WrestleMania, or does that sound like a no-holds-barred brawl at Extreme Rules between brothers, possibly for the Intercontinental Championship? it's not the end of the world if this match, if this blow-off does not happen at WrestleMania. Would it be great? Yes, I'm not denying that it wouldn't be great. It is another direction that they could have gone. I understand that. I beseech you all. I am admitting that is another cool thing they could have done at WrestleMania. And it would have probably been great. But it would have been over. And Goldust, who pretty much doesn't age, and Cody, who doesn't see a gimmick he doesn't love and make great, doesn't need to end yet. It doesn't need to be over just because the new year has started. This could be the feud that ramps up after WrestleMania and is the kickoff of the new wrestling year if you give it a chance to be. But look at Cody Rhodes. As I said, all the growth Cody Rhodes has had, getting so close in his rivalry with Randy Orton to being a possible contender for the world title and never quite getting there. This could be the stepping stone. He's already called it the ivory icon, or the alabaster icon of excellence, or something like that is what he called on SmackDown. Like I said, I don't have any notes. I don't remember what he said, but it was something like that. He looks up at it. And what better way to show his brother that he doesn't need him anymore, his brother that he held tag team gold with, than to go over here, take his shadow with him, leave his dad and his brother in the dust and say, no, look, I needed you to get gold before. Now look, now I went and got gold on my own. And I mean, the metaphors alone, hey, gold dust, I'm the one with the gold, the story almost writes itself. The promos, which are another amazing element of Stardust, write themselves because the story lays itself out for you. It's fantastic. Look at the history of Cody Rhodes with the Intercontinental Championship. Cody Rhodes is the star. Cody Rhodes, the former persona of the now Stardust, is the guy that brought back the championship belt that they are all fighting over, that they are all literally scraping and crawling step by step up that ladder to get. It doesn't get any more symbolic than that. It doesn't get any more emotional than that. It doesn't get any more connected. It doesn't get any more, you know, whatever you want to say. It doesn't get any more WrestleMania moment than that. And Stardust is a fantastic addition to this match, because other than his characters, other than, you know, the story that he's got with his brother and his family and his different incarnations as Dashing and Deranged and Mustachio and Stardust and Priceless and Fortune and all that other shit, put all that aside, the guy's a fucking fantastic worker that can kill it. A couple years ago at Royal Rumble, him and Miz stole the show as far as endurance in the Royal Rumble. We know what this guy can do in things other than a standard match. A standard match is almost not enough for Stardust. And Stardust going in, possibly winning the Intercontinental Championship, will be fucking great. Last comes to least, and it's Daniel Bryan. And I know, with everything I've said in the past little while, with all my rants about the Rumble and about the WrestleMania main event, you guys think I'm going to shit on Daniel Bryan here. I'm really not. I'm really, really not. Daniel Bryan has so much fan support behind him right now that no matter what he does, no matter what he achieves, no matter what he competes in, no matter what he strives for, the fans will be behind him. You guys that love him and want him to have the world handed to him, that I have mocked, and I think rightfully so over the past little while, will love him in this match. I don't have that investment in the Daniel Bryan character right now, but I know that Bryan Danielson, the talent, is a fantastic addition to this match. And if we're telling a different story now, we're telling the story that Daniel Bryan is not being able to proceed and pursue the excellence that he thought he was going to, but instead he's going to chase after the one bit of gold hardware that has eluded him his entire career. That is a great jump for him to get to. That is, to your guys' credit, that is the perseverance of Daniel Bryan. Okay, I can't achieve this right now, but I can achieve this. I can steal this moment. I can be in this match that most people are going to love more than Lesnar versus Reigns. So, F all of you. You know, so the Daniel Bryan fans are I don't even say the Daniel Bryan fanboys, but I will say anybody that appreciates Daniel Bryan can say, okay, WWE, you want to give us a shitty main event? We're gonna take our guy being in this match that's flat out going to be better. Now, as far as the structure of the WWE and as far as my curiosity on what Roman Reigns can do in the main event picture goes, I'm still very happy that we are getting Lesnar versus Reigns, but I'm not an idiot. I'm not blind. This match will be leaps and bounds better than the main event. this match, if you made this match the main event, it would make sense. I mean, I made the joke a long time ago that the only way people would be happy with WrestleMania would be as if an NXT Battle Royal was the main event. And I meant what I said at the time because I thought people were being ridiculous. But Daniel Bryan's from NXT, don't forget that. Wade Barrett's from NXT, don't forget that. Ambrose isn't, but Harper is. Ambrose pretty much might as well be from NXT because he came from FCW just before it became NXT, so you can lump him in there if you want to. But a thought that I had for you guys, as I said, this title being the Wrestlers Championship, the Workman, the Blue Collar Championship, whatever, because the main event is what it is, because nobody, and I say nobody in quotation marks because there are clearly people that do. There are Lesnar fans, there are Roman fans, but the general population believing that nobody cares about the main event, that throws the WWE Championship out the window. Does all of your respect for gold and championships in any way, shape, or form not then fall on the Intercontinental Championship? Does it not then fall that you would want your guy to win the next title on the list that matters? Because the idea being, you don't want to see Roman Reigns, you don't want to see Brock Lesnar, so you don't care about the WWE Championship. There is no more WWE Championship. What's the next on the list? The most prestigious, historic piece of hardware in the WWE right now is going to be hanging above that ladder at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania. And all you guys that think Daniel Bryan got screwed, I don't agree with you. I don't think he did. But all of you that do, that think, okay, he got screwed out of the main title. He's not able to go and save the big main title from those two gorillas over there. So let those two gorillas fight over it. Let them make that title useless. The next title that matters is the Intercontinental Championship. And it is the true workhorse, wrestler, blue-collar title. When our guy, Daniel Bryan hits that knee, or hits that suicide dive, or that Benoit-esque headbutt, and knocks the last competitor out of the way, and there's nothing between him and that ladder and that championship, are you not going to be out of your seat? Are you not going to be out of your seat the same way I would if it was Jeff Hardy? And doing your yes chants. And you know what? I won't even mock you for it. I won't. I do that enough, and I know that. But will you not be standing there, sitting at the end of your couch, or standing in front of your computer screen, for those of you that are streaming it, or anybody whose power goes out and has to watch the WWE Network on their phone? Are you not going to be holding your phone in one hand and doing a big old deserved yes chant with the other hand? Can you not get behind your guy going for a title that in your view still does matter? Or can you not get behind your guy grabbing the next belt on the list and being the guy that makes it matter? Being the next Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship. Being the next Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. Because those are the guys. Those are the guys in current gen who have made the Intercontinental Championship worthwhile. We got rid of the Tylenol belt and we brought back proper prestige and the proper belt with Cody Rhodes when he held it. Dolph Ziggler, because he's got the world in the palm of his hand like this, made any title he touched relevant. Do you not think that that belt meeting Daniel Bryan's hand will not do fantastic things for Daniel Bryan, fantastic things for the title, fantastic things for WrestleMania as a whole? And you can't still go home. The fans in Levi's Stadium, as they did last year in New Orleans, when they left the arena, we saw videos and shots and tweets and photos and everything. People down Bourbon Street, yes chanting after WrestleMania was over. Do you not think in Silicon Valley, if Daniel Bryan climbs that ladder and gets that belt, you're not going to see people in California doing yes chants down whatever street leads to Levi's Stadium? Daniel Bryan in this match, I know there's so many people that think that it's a downgrade, but it's not. Daniel Bryan, the main event feel that you guys have for Daniel Bryan, he will bring it, and I will give him credit for this. He will bring that feeling. He brings all of you, the WWE Universe, and I'm going to be cliche here for just a second. Daniel Bryan, as much as it bothers me sometimes, and as much as some of you are fucking nuts, has all of you in the palm of his hand. So whatever I could say, whatever Barrett or Ambrose or Ziggler or Harper or Truth or Stardust bring to this match, Daniel Bryan brings not only his ridiculous God-given ability, his ridiculous wrestling acumen, but he brings the Daniel Bryan story. He brings the disappointment of Royal Rumble, the disappointment of Fastlane, the anger of those vicious fans of his. He brings you guys to this match. And this is the kind of match that needs that. You know, I can say that WrestleMania is the pinnacle. I can say that the Intercontinental Championship is the next belt that matters. I can say that ladder matches have been a favorite of the wrestling crowd since wrestling began in the carnivals. But it's like that commercial says. It's like that commercial that people laugh at these days says. There is no WWE without us. And as far as the Daniel Bryan fans are concerned, you guys are the largest vocal majority that I can think of in WWE right now. So Daniel Bryan in this match brings his God-given ability, brings his wrestling acumen, brings every single tool that he has in his toolbox to this match. But it also brings you guys. This match is going to be fantastic. This match, as much as I say, I'll debate anybody. I'll debate anybody on the rest of the card. I see the positives in the Divas tag match. I see the and I get where people don't. I see the positives in Cena versus Rusev for the US title, no matter which way it goes. I know that other people don't, and I see why. I see the positives in Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker, but other people don't, and I see why. Triple H versus Sting, I'm intrigued. I know a lot of other people aren't, and I see why. Lesnar versus Roman, I'm on an island by myself, basically looking forward to this main event. Other people are not, and I see that, and I understand why. This is the one. This match, this ladder match, for this 7-person main event WrestleMania ladder match for the prestigious and historic Intercontinental Championship that goes back farther than I can remember and has been held by most of the greats of this industry. Trying to find a way to say this that's not cheesy, and it's just not happening. This match is going to be the heartbeat of WrestleMania. And all the other matches I'll argue till I'm blue in the face because I'm excited, and I know some people aren't, and I get it. I can't buy people not being excited about this match. And not to sound patronizing, and I really want to say this in the most respectful way possible, if you've lost so much faith in wrestling that you can't get excited about this, then I don't know what to do other than feel bad for you. And as I said, that sounds cocky, that sounds arrogant as hell, but I mean that. Guys, I mean that. And like I say, hand on heart, I will never have a popular opinion, but I will always give you my honest opinion. If you can't get excited about this match, I genuinely feel sorry for you, and I'm genuinely sad for you, because this match is going to be fucking phenomenal. This match at this WrestleMania, this year, in this time frame, in this current 2015 wrestling world that we live in, this ladder match is going to be special. And I'm looking forward to it. And people that aren't, and this isn't an argument video, I'm just sharing my opinion and why, some of the thoughts that I have going into why I'm so excited about this match. It's to the point where I can't understand. This is the one I can't understand. This is the one I can't understand people not being able to find at least something about this match to be excited about. I can't. I hope more of you agree with me than I've seen so far, and that's all I can say. I hope I've excited a few of you. I hope I've given you something new to think about. I'm not saying you have to agree with me, but I hope I've given you guys something to think about. I hope maybe I've given you something to be excited about. Maybe come and talk to me. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. You guys know it's in the box below every video. Tweet me, Skype me, Facebook me, talk to me. As I've said a million times before, I feel like I'm on an island for this WrestleMania, and other people are like struggling to get excited. I have a lot of excitement. Obviously, I'm losing my voice and I'm tired and I can't properly express it right now. I'm going to have a big gulp from my giant gallon of iced tea. Guys, I'm excited about this WrestleMania, but mostly I'm excited about this match. As I said, and it'll probably be becoming cliche if I say it more than a couple of times, this match is the heartbeat of WrestleMania this year. And if you're having a hard time getting excited about it, come find me. I've got enough excitement for this match, and I've got enough excitement for this show to share with everybody. And there's not much else I can say. Please, please, please start a conversation. And I'm not even going to say it as part of my little exit thing. Please, legitimately, talk to me down in that box below. Talk to me on Twitter, Facebook, Skype, whatever. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of what I've had to say. Tell me what you think of this match. I know the R-Truth thing is a bit of a stickler for some people, but I hope I've gotten my point across on that. Literally, put it down in the box below. Share your... If you are like me, and if you are feeling like me, like you're excited about WrestleMania and you're like one of the only ones, come up here. My suggestion to all of you is the ones of you that are, I know if you're anything like me, you're on an island. You know, I'm on an island here being excited. Somebody might be on an island over there being excited. And there's a big sea of angry people in the middle. Make a video like this. Don't argue. Don't try to change people's minds. I'm dialing back on that. Instead of telling people why they should be excited, tell them why you're excited. That's what I'm trying to do in this video, and I hope I've expanded myself properly. For a video that I did with literally no notes, it's quite a ramble. There was no logical progression or sense to most of it. If you've stayed until this point in the video, I wish I had $5 and a cookie to give you, but I don't. This has been my ramble about the Intercontinental Championship ladder match at WrestleMania that I am so very, very looking forward to. But that's it. I'm going to stop talking now because I'm completely red in the face. And I'm going to go post this and go to sleep because I work in 6 hours. Anyways, that's it. I'm out of here. I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later. For right now, I am tagging out. Bye, guys.